What's up YouTube, Kyron back up in here with another video, and today we have a vintage pickups video. In short, this is going to be my essentials when it comes to vintage. I feel like vintage is one of the few ways that you're able to progress in your style without breaking the bank. It's one of my favorite ways to get dressed on a budget, and I feel like it is so friendly to a younger audience or even an audience that's trying to get more involved into fashion, because it's an easy way to participate without breaking the bank, as I said before. So I'm going to be going through a couple of my personal favorites that I've accumulated recently. So it's gonna be a pickups video slash an essentials video of what I deem to be important in vintage, and you could clearly see I bought into it because I feel like I would get a lot of wear out of it, and it's something that I can incorporate within my wardrobe and also for stylistic purposes because I am a stylist. So yeah, all that to be said, let's get straight into it. Before we get into all of that, make sure to like this video if you haven't already and subscribe if you're new. GOTSWEIGE is where you can keep up to date with me more frequently. I post fit pics, this and that, so that's what you can check out on there. And before we get into all of the vintage goodness, I wanted to make sure that I start the video off with some Apothecary, if I'm saying that correctly, because that's something that I personally enjoy as a pickup, and I feel like it's a great way to just like ease into the pickups in a slight little way. And if you guys didn't notice, like this whole section of my room is like the Apothecary section. Makes my room smell decadent and makes all of the garments smell top tier and not stuffy, if that makes sense. So having a good smelling environment and just like taking care of yourself and taking care of your environment is very important in self-care. And one of the companies that I really enjoy with that is AZ Apothecary out of California. That's AZ Apothecary California. They are a small brand based out of California, as I just said a moment ago. I really love their product. They're up and coming small business, and I love supporting small businesses, of course. And they were kind enough to send me a whole bunch of products, so I'm going to go through a little bit of that right about now. One of their main products that they sent me is this candle right here. I'm going to have the name of the candle plastered across the screen right about now, and you could see that the packaging is just so amazing, super crispy, nice little lid on the top right there. You have the AZ, you guys can see your little reflection right there, pretty funny, beautiful branding. This is the Orbis candle, as I mentioned briefly before. I was gonna have it on the screen, but I might as well just show you guys the details right now. So yeah, this has a nice faint but whole smell, if that makes sense. The candles are made out of vegan coconut soy, and it just has a really great burn overall. Super great color, and like I said, very whole, very faint, but also very rich, if that makes sense. Also, you could tell a really good candle, in my personal opinion, when it smells in the room without it even burning. That's when you know it has a good amount of natural fragrance. And oh, it's another note that I wanted to touch on. All of the fragrances are made out of natural oils, which is another plus. I find if you're gonna have it in your environment, you at least want it to be natural and like very organic tone to the space. I feel like that's another good perk. Another great thing for people that are getting new into like apothecary and candles, etc. I feel like candle care is something that a lot of people don't really know too much about, and like even me, I didn't know that you had to have a wick cutter for your candles. So like if you guys didn't know, every time you light a candle, you burn it out, kind of like creates a little orb on the top, and you're supposed to cut it with something like this, which is like, this looks like scissors, but it's a wick cutter. It has this little tip on the top. Makes sense? Let me block it out like this. So it has a little tip on the top. It helps you cut the wick, little snip snip, and that helps you in general. So hold on, let me just put this down for a second. Here has the branding on there too, and this is made out of like a really great sturdy metal. You guys know I like a good weight out of a product, and as well as like the candle stuffer. This is to like stop the flame pretty much. Another great little addition. Also has the branding on it too, if it wants to focus. Really great. Side note as well, just for you guys that are new into candles, just wanted to say that they have a like welcoming page. That's a designated candle care page, and that's just for people that are new into candles, looking to know how to properly care for their candles. Best way to do it, if you guys are uninformed, then that's a good way to get informed on something like this. Personally, out of the products that they sent me, the candle was great. I'm more of a person that likes very intense smells but not overwhelming, so there's a a nice little balance right there. I feel like this smell is great for a room of my size because it's faint but not too much, so that's why I like it. But overall, I do like a little bit more of an intense smell that's pretty natural, so it's not overwhelming like I said before. But my favorite thing that they sent me was this room spray, and this is a Raga room spray. Get a little close-up shot right there of that, but this smells amazing, so nice. This feels like you're in a luxury boutique as soon as you spray it. Just very whole and makes you feel like you're in a just like a blissful, relaxed, tranquil environment, but at the same time it feels very like luxe. You just feel like as if you're walking into like a very high scale designer store, if that makes sense. Just like, it smells great. Like, I've been spraying it like every other day in my room just to keep like my clothes smelling pretty fresh. On my linens, it smells great. Around like where my plant is situated, on my rug too. Everywhere that could kind of like stick to a scent, I've been going with this. It smells so great. Trust me on this, that room spray is insane. And it actually lingers. Like you spray like maybe 4 sprays in a room, it lasts the whole day guaranteed, because it did for me, and I would not cap about that. So lastly, they sent me a bunch of testers of their fragrance, which I'm really excited to test out because I really do enjoy fragrances. This is this one right here, and this one right here as well. I personally love fragrances. I can't wait to really try all of those. I've been testing with new scents all the time. It's a bit easier to test out bodily fragrances when it's like the spring summer for me, just because in the winter I find it like goes away way faster, or it doesn't really like shine the hardest, because in the cold it kind of like, it doesn't unlock all of the aromas that I'm expecting it to. But I'm really excited to test those out in the near future. At the moment, that room spray is by far my favorite though. I'm so excited to keep on using that for my environment and my room and just be a part of the AZ experience, as I hope you guys are too. I'm gonna have all the links in the description below so that you guys could go check them out as well. Make sure to go check them out. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys setting out that product. On to the next one. So the first essential for vintage, I would say, is a nice worn in cap. This is one of my favorites that I've found as of recent. I showed this in the pickups section of that closet tour I did with Megs, my girlfriend, which is very nice. I love how flimsy it is. It kind of reminds me of a Shaka da Badman, if that makes sense. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of his style, a bit more artisanal, a bit more like artsy, if that makes sense. But I really do enjoy it just because it's like not so serious. It's kind of fun. I feel like this would be a lot more interesting in the summertime, as I said. Kind of like a running theme. I'm trying to get out of winter, break into summer, and really enjoy it, you know? So this will definitely be super fun in the summertime, as I said before. And I just like distinct hats like this, because I doubt that I'm gonna bump into anyone in the street with something like this. I also got it repaired because like one of the ends was like coming off basically. So yeah, has lots of character. Can't wait to really get some wear into this. Another hat, this is a fitted that I've had on the ground for way too long because I've been waiting to show you guys. This is a vintage fitted made in the USA, 100% wool, new era, OG tag of new era too. You could tell how old that is. Look at that, insane. Let's see this. This is my size. I found this in my size, like I said before, 100% wool, 7 5/8 made in USA, and got these tags right here, $59.50. And I love this hat just because I walked into the store, which was called THEOS in Montreal. If you guys have not checked that out before, it's a great buy, sell, trade, vintage and streetwear shop in Mont-Royal of Montreal, if you guys are familiar with that area. And they have great stuff time to time. If you pop in there, you'll definitely find some type of steal to your liking. This was the case for me. I think this was like 40 or 50 bucks, and it was a brand new vintage fitted hat, which you rarely ever see, and it was exactly in my size. I was like, this is meant to be. I'm gonna scoop it right now because it's such a wearable color, cream and red. Like, come on now, so perfect. So I snagged that. It was so great. I have way too many hats, but I said why not, because it's also something that you're not going to see every day. So I like little distinct individualistic items like this, and I feel like you guys should take that into account with vintage as well. You're gonna have something that no one else has, and on top of it, this is a great accessory to just spice up a very simplistic outfit. You can have jeans, t-shirt, and a little hat, and it's gonna look completely different than if you had the same thing, jeans, t-shirt, hat, and it's a completely different hat, you know, different energy all the time. Next piece is gonna be this flight jacket. This is like a pilot style jacket, I wanna say. Super, super sick. I just love the age that it has on it because it's like a really crackled leather. So much wear and so much character in something like this. It's like a very deep brown and it has these patches that are also leather that have been so worn in and cracked over time. It says 1910 to 1988. I believe this is from the 80s. I could be wrong, but that's just based on this patch right here. It's a size medium. It's made in Korea. Love the crackling on the back. It's like leather is so beat in. Also, these darts on the top are amazing. It just fits really well. But yeah, like I was saying, the way the leather is aging, it almost looks like waxed, and like how beat up the leather has become, it like created like a sheen to the crinkle. So yeah, I took off one of the patches, which was on the front, just because it was like one too many patches to me. It was right here. And I just kept the front patch on the chest right here, and then also the two patches on the sleeves. It looks a lot better on body, but I love this piece, especially how it like kind of swoops up in the back. It was $125, which is a bit steep. Oh, actually I got it for like 25% off, which is, so I basically coughed up $100 for this. A little expensive for a vintage jacket, but I feel like anywhere else in New York or something of that nature, it would be around that price, but in USD. So I was okay to pay it. I know I would get a decent amount of wear out of it in the fall or spring, so I shelled out the money. That's just another note for you guys as a vintage essential tip. Leather or outerwear for vintage is a great thing to invest in, just because I feel like redundant, yes I know, but you're gonna be the only person with it. Two, the quality is so much better from back in the day, whether it be 90s, 80s, 70s. A lot of the craftsmanship was just elevated back then because they didn't mass produce everything. So a lot of like handmade goods and like attention to detail, small little minute things like that. Character is so wonderful with a lot of these pieces, and just like a deeper story to tell with stuff like this. So I'm personally a big fan of outerwear when it comes to vintage. A lot of my outerwear stems from vintage or is inspired by vintage, so definitely take a lot of notes. Outerwear is something that I tend to invest a lot in when it comes to vintage. Pants too, but we'll get into pants in a second because there's a whole lot of pants. Speaking of pants, this was given to me by my lovely girlfriend Megs. I really appreciate her. This was her Christmas gift to me, and she and I have been on this wave of like really baggy pants. Honestly, she kind of put me onto it. Really beautiful pair of baggy pants, really elevates the proportions of an outfit. I've been on the tip of like having like a tighter torso to like the silhouette of my outfits, and then having a baggier bottom, but in the winter you can't really do just like a tighter upper because it's not going to keep you warm. So in the fall or the spring I've been doing that, but in the winter I've been doing like a little nice little puffer jacket of sorts, and then just having a really exaggerated wide bottom and having that like triangle silhouette. If you guys don't know that formula, having a triangle in any form of fashion or aesthetic, it's pleasing to the eye. So if you guys keep that in your mind, it's like the proportions of the silhouette, it's like tighter upper, wider bottom, creates that triangle. That makes sense. So these pants are a shell military pant. I'll get the exact name for you guys. This is the Arctic M195 pant. It's a shell pant, and here's the details if you guys want to, by all means. I know it's kind of hard to read, but yeah, just a cargo pant, shell pant. You're supposed to put them over your actual pants if you'd like. I wear them kind of by themselves, and they fit anywhere between a 31 to a 35 because you could cinch the waist, and it's versatile in that way. Like Megs's pair of white ones are, I could fit them and she could fit them, and she's like a 25 inch waist and I'm a 32 inch waist, so it's super versatile. So it's great if you're a couple, if you want to share them, or if you just want to get it for yourself and have that silhouette. By all means, amazing pair of pants. I love them. Definitely go check them out. I'm pretty sure they would be on Depop or either on Grailed of sorts or any secondhand market, or if you have a local vintage store of your own that you frequent or an army surplus store, they probably have them, so go check them out. This right here is a pair of HBT trousers. I've been looking for a pair of these for quite some time now. My homie, Old Clothes Are Cool, Alex, has been trying to source me a pair, but he's been on the hunt to try and find me like an OG pair, like original that goes upward of like $1,000 for a reasonable price, of course, but like they're so hard to find. With vintage and sourcing stuff, if you guys really dive deep into like true vintage, it's one of the hardest things to actually acquire in your dedicated sizing, because things have washed and shrunk over the years, and getting true measurements and like acquiring all the things you actually need to fit your personal body type is like a lot of trial and error, hence why I buy so many pairs of vintage Levi's. But for this pair of HBT pants, it wasn't the original one, but it had all of the details and features that I personally like, so I said screw it, I'm gonna just pull the trigger and buy it anyway. So I sniped these off eBay. HBT cargo pants, love the little details right here. Great little side cargo, but they're like upper on the thigh, and they have this herringbone fabric to it, which I love. Really great addition of a detail to the pant. You see it a bit more there. It's kind of hard to see with the exposure, but yeah, 3D cargo pockets on the thigh, and they kind of like protrude onto the front in some slight way. I just find them really flattering, and they're super wide. They fall perfectly on sneakers and boots, so it's one of my favorite military-esque pants. Not even esque, military pants in general. So I wear these a lot, and I wear my OG 107s plenty, so that's kind of my like military pant rotation. This in the summer or spring with some Guidis is going to be perfection. Having a military pant but then making it a bit more high-end, almost like in a helmet lang type of way, is another way that you could use vintage to your advantage and kind of take a high-low approach to vintage. Mixing a pant like this with a elevated top and a quality leather shoe makes the whole outfit look like it's designer or helmet lang or any of these like super posh mainstay brands, you know what I mean? It kind of fits in under that whole umbrella. So that's what I'm trying to say. Great pair of pants. Definitely check out the HBT pants wherever you want to try and find them. Google it, HBT pants, whatever your size is, do some research, you'll probably find a pair. Next pair I got is this pair of 506s. I've never heard of this model before. I pretty much know every single model of flared or like wide cut Levi's at this point, because I've been buying so many of them to try and find like the perfect pairs, and I just stack. I sit on them, or I use them for whatever purpose, or if they don't serve me a purpose anymore, I flip them to you guys. So there's been a lot of trial and error with these Levi's, all of that to say. But I found a pair that's a size 34, 32, ended up fitting me perfectly. I got these from Palmo when I did the video with them. I love the flare on these. They're more of like a deep traditional American, Canadian style, well, North American style blue. Love how wide they go to the bottom. It's about like a 9-inch leg opening, I would say, give or take. Really dope. I just love the way that they fit. Can't wait to style these in the spring and summer, as I said before, just because the flare is very dramatic, but not as dramatic as the 646 or any other models of that nature. So definitely check out the 506. One of the models that I've slept on personally, and I haven't even heard too much on. It says original fit with flare. If you could see that, very interesting. Definitely go check them out. One of my favorite current fitting pairs of Levi's. I hope to find a light wash version of those one day, because that would be probably my everyday pant, point blank. On to a piece of outerwear that I've been excited to show you guys, just because this is an example of buying outerwear that looks so close to designer that people think it actually is designer, toying on that same concept that I had said with the HBT pants, that if you mix and match high-low and the way that you style it, it just makes everything look so elevated. And pieces like this, like I've had multiple comments when I wore this and asked me if it's Balenciaga, and it's not. It's literally just an oversized leather blazer. I have two of these now. I have one that's a bit more form-fitting that I don't have on on me currently. It's with a friend of mine. And then I also have this large oversized one. If I were to have bought this from Vetements or Balenciaga, this would have been $5,000. Easily. And when I wear it, it looks like it's $5,000 because I'm pairing it with like, let's say like a high-end pair of boots. So it looks like the whole fit is upscale, but you're saving a pretty penny when you find vintage goodies such as this one. This is insane. I love the way that this looks. It's super posh. Leather blazer. Having items like this for me is a huge plus because of like styling gigs, etc. Because like having items like this, it's super hard to find nowadays, especially in my area of Montreal. Everyone's looking for items like this, so I was excited to even find it. I didn't even know I'd be able to find something like this. It was like 50 bucks. Definitely worth it. Really, really worth it. I would pay so much more, but I didn't have to, which is great. And speaking on the leather note, this is another piece that I bought. I'm still in the hunt for the perfect pair of leather pants. These are a bit wide in the waist for me, but I just like kind of sag them a bit. And they are like a thinner leather pair of pants. I might honestly list these on my Depop eventually once the time comes. They have like a small little pocket, but they're not a women's pant by any means because of like how wide the waist is. The leg opening is a nice little fit. These kind of remind me, don't know how controversial this is, but they remind me of like a pant that Travis would wear, Travis Scott. I'll list them. Hopefully you guys rock with them. I love these leather pants, but I just feel like I need to find the perfect one. It's the same thing like Levi's, you can never have enough. And these just don't feel like the one yet. I like a heavy leather pant. That's the problem. Like this is probably like a light calf skin, but I want like a heavy calf skin. This, yeah, basically, that's it. Leather pants, on to the next one. Next piece is a very meme-like piece. Like obviously people have worn this before and people know about this item, but it's literally just a pair of black Carhartt double knee pants. I have yet to find a pair of these that look great on me. I have a pair that was sent to me from Club d'Art Sauvage that was like reworked almost in like a gallery depth-esque way with a brand new pair of Carhartt double knees that he like reworked, took off the double knee and added the flare alterations, etc. But this pair is untouched and just vintage. I believe, are they made in USA? Yeah, they're made in USA pair, which makes it even better at that. And yeah, I love the way that these fit. I don't even know what size they are. Let's see, because I feel like that's what makes these so good. They're a size 36-30, but if I'm being completely honest, these fit like a 33 and the length feels way longer than that. I don't know why these are marked to 30. They definitely stack as if they are like a 32 or 33, even 34, because 34 is the way I like my pants to fall on shoes. But I love the way that these look on photos and in real life and how they just like fall on my shoes. Like it's just like a perfect pair of pants to wear with like Bostons in the summer or like my Rick Owens Birkenstocks. Very like relaxed but key type of pant. Let's see if this works too. Boom. Really nice pair of pants. Can't say anything else about them. The elevated version of this would obviously be like the Chrome Hearts Carpenter pants, the double knees. And this is a great affordable alternative, even though this was like the original before the chrome one, I'm pretty sure. Just double knees in general is just like a very standard piece of clothing that everyone should probably try and see if it's good for them. I like the way it looks on me. Of course it's memey, as I said before, but it works with the style that I tried to put together, so can't hate it. All right, so I was looking for the widest cut of Levi's I could possibly find. And once again, old clothes are cool. Alex, he was so gracious to be sourcing for me once again and constantly digging for things that I would personally enjoy out of vintage garments. And he was able to find this model of Levi's for me. He proposed it to me. Literally, it just says wide leg and the number is 565. So if you want to look out for pairs of your own, you're more than welcome to, of course. But this is just a wide pair of Levi's, almost like a skater fit, very similar to the Balenciaga denim that I wore in my last pickups video. So So if you guys were looking for an affordable alternative, this is a great option for you. I love this pair. I ended up doubling up and finding another pair just because I was being a little greedy at the time and I wanted to do a project on the other pair. But I love these. These are great. Can't wait to wear them a bit more. This and the Balenciaga pair are going to be so nice to wear more and more often as the years progress. But yeah, this model, great wide model, just because I feel like 501s are nice, but for me they're just a bit like, they're just not wide enough to hover over shoes the way I like. And then 517s are a bit like too expected sometimes, and then the flare cuts are hard to find. So these have been a bit easier to find. I like baggy wide pants, like I said, with a tighter torso. I feel like that silhouette is nice, and this is a great contributor to that. So there you have it. As I said before, I doubled up. This is another pair of 565s that I want to show off. So this one is 36 by 32, but they've shrank in a whole lot, so they fit more like a 33 or a 34. Great little light wash. To have some distressing on this back pocket right here, and in the front also really nice. Probably gonna do a little project on these and just see where it goes from here, because I really do enjoy how wide these turned out to be as a pair of denim. So if you guys are looking for more wide cut Levi's takes, the 565 is your model to go to. Definitely go check them out. Love this model, and I'm sure that you guys are gonna start sniping a whole lot of pairs after I drop this number. So I see all the pairs that I was sniping before I drop a video like this, and they all get taken out in a heartbeat. But it's okay. I'm not trying to gatekeep anything any longer. I have a array of vintage Levi's, so I don't need any more. You guys should flood the streets. Take them all. Take all the vintage Levi's, please. I need to see the fits. So this is a pair of 70s bell-bottom 684s. Models like this are a bit hard to stumble upon just because they always fit completely different depending on the wash, the year. I don't know. There's a lot of variables when it comes to pants like this, and literally on paper the measurements seem to be perfect with this for me, but in the thigh and the rise it's just a little snug. So I have to wear these on days where I'm feeling like a skinny legend, to be honest. They're an orange tab pair of denim, but they fit so nice, dude. Like as a flared pant, like this is like the most exaggerated flare you're gonna get. You could easily see that from there, and the wash is just so perfect. I love this. I'm just holding on to them because, like I said, I could wear them on days where I'm a skinny legend, but in a true world, if I could go up a size like an inch or an inch and a half, I would, in the waist and in the thigh, just because it would be a whole lot more comfortable. But you can't pass up on a model like this just because of how well the fits were back then for vintage Levi's. And I think that's just another final tip that I'm gonna say with vintage Levi's. Denim back there was superior, and as a vintage essential, I think a good pair of denim, either flared or wide cut, is great for a contemporary outfit. It just fits very well with a lot of styles, whether it be streetwear or classic, anything. You know what I mean? You could just pair a pair of good denim, good quality denim with anything, and I feel like vintage Levi's is a great thing to build across any style. So vintage, wide, flared, anything you want, got you covered. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys for sticking tuned to the end. I know it was a long one, but we had to get through all of them some way or another. Had plenty of vintage to go through, and of course it wouldn't be possible without the people over at Apothecary California. Hope I'm not butchering Apothecary, because I could be, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys sticking tuned to the channel. As always, I really appreciate it. Make sure to go follow me on Instagram. GOTSWEIGE is where you can keep up to date with me more frequently. I post fit pics, this and that, so that's what you can check out on there. Make sure to like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to be back here on a new video very shortly. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what was your favorite piece that you've seen in this video, and what vintage pieces you guys are looking to add into your own collection, of course. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Deuces.